What's good, Washington fans, man? Football is back. I'm super hyped, super excited, man. No better way to start off with a home game at FedEx Field, man. Gotta give it to the Chargers, man. We gotta get this win, man. Gotta take care of them. So to start off, we'll go with the injury report, then we'll look at some key matchups, then we'll get into keys to victory, and then I'll get into my score prediction. So of course you got the matchups, man. Offensive Rookie of the Year with Justin Herbert versus our guy. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Chase Young. I can't wait. Chase Young versus Rashawn Slater. You know, everybody's been talking about that. And then, of course, the conversation, should we have drafted Justin Herbert? I don't get into that conversation because it's hindsight. Hindsight is 2020. We all know the deal that everybody wanted to pick Tua before Justin Herbert anyway, so I don't get into that. Chase Young was the right pick at the time. We already know that, so it is what it is. But this game is going to be lit, man. Justin Herbert has never played against a team with a full crowd on a road game. He didn't have that opportunity last year, so it is going to be different. It is going to be interesting to see him play with crowd noise. We got to get hype in FedEx. Some people are saying it's sold out. Some people are saying there's still some tickets on Ticketmaster. But we got to be turned up. We got to be lit. I won't be going to the game, but if you are going to the game, definitely get lit, get hype. When they do score a touchdown, I don't know what y'all going to be saying. I don't know if you're going to say hail to the football team or hail to the last name, so that is, or Red Wolves or whatever. So it will be interesting to see that. So let's get into the injury report. So those are just some of the storylines. And of course, Brandon Staley is a first-year head coach. So we'll see how he does. Was a good defensive coordinator with the Los Angeles Rams. Another young coach with Sean McVay, another young head coach as well. So, and the Rams had the #1 defense last year. So Brandon Staley, he's a smart mind going up against Ron Rivera. They got a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving pieces. They have 4 new offensive linemen. Their offensive line was abysmal last year, and they didn't play one preseason game, which I'm not taking too much stock in because, Justin Herbert didn't play in preseason last year. He played really, really well after Tyrod Taylor had the punctured lung or whatever happened, and he played well. So I'm not taking too much stock into that, but they could be rusty, that offense. So let's get into the injury report real quick. So Curtis Samuel, DNP today. I personally don't see him playing. I don't see him playing. I think, honestly, he might be on injury reserve. They might put him on injury reserve. And remember, injury reserve is only 3 games. It's not 8 games like it was last year or 2 years ago. They changed the rule, so he can come back. He would miss this game, the Bills game. He would miss this game, the Giants game, and the Falcons game. And then we would have him back for week 4 against the Bills. So we put him on IR, let him rest, and really get fully healthy after 3 weeks. And even who knows, he still might not even be fully healthy after the 3 weeks. After, the guy hasn't even played since minicamp, and that was May or June. So it's been a long time. So wishing the best for my guy, Curtis Samuel. Speedy recovery. And then for them, Austin Eckler showed up on the injury report with a hamstring injury. So he did not participate. We'll see if he participates in practice today. I have a feeling he's going to play. If you look at his Twitter, he was pretty hyped. He put out a tweet saying that he's ready for the season. So I'm anticipating him to play. Brian Bulaga, that's a big name that was on the injury report. He did participate fully in practice yesterday. But if he's not available, they got a guy named Storm Norton, who's his backup. He played in the XFL, and I think Chase Young and Montez Sweat would have a field day on that guy. But Brian Bulaga, he's a good tackle, came from the Packers, and he was banged up. So he has a hamstring and he has a groin injury and a hip flexor injury. So that's going to be tough. Him going up against Chase Young and Montez Sweat. Everybody's talking about that Chase Young versus Rashawn Slater matchup. But honestly, I'm looking at Montez Sweat versus Brian Bulaga. I think Montez Sweat can take advantage of that opportunity against Brian Bulaga being a little banged up and nicked up as well. So I'm expecting a big game for Montez Sweat. So let's get to the matchups here that I think are pretty darn important. Of course, Chase Young versus Rashawn Slater. Everybody, talks about the Northwestern versus Ohio State game where Rashawn Slater did a solid job against Chase Young. Chase Young is licking his chops, man, getting ready to get back at Rashawn Slater and take advantage and prove that, he can dominate once again. You saw what he did against the Patriots on that first snap against Cam Newton, forcing the fumble already off the rip, off jump. I'm expecting Chase Young to make that leap and show that he improved from last year, learn some more pass rush moves. This is not college. This is the pros. So I'm excited to see him go up against Rashawn Slater. I'm interested to see Keenan Allen versus William Jackson. That's going to be a tough matchup. William Jackson has gotten the better of Keenan Allen in the last times that they played with the Bengals versus the Chargers. So it will be interesting to see. Keenan Allen is a legitimate #1 wide receiver in this league. He's definitely a top 10 wide receiver in this league. So that would be interesting. Keenan and William Jackson, him adjusting to this new defense, playing a lot of zone, and he played a lot of man with the Bengals. So seeing him adjust to this defense, he's talked about that a lot in the press conference, him learning and getting used to this offense, to this defense. He's more of a shadow man-to-man corner. So it will be interesting to see how he adjusts. Let's move on to Joey Bosa versus Charles Leno and Sam Cosmi, both of our tackles. Sam Cosmi, the rookie, man, I'm expecting some big things from him, but there's going to be a learning curve from him. So I'm not expecting him to come out the gate and just be a dominating right tackle. And we got to see how Charles Leno does, too, against Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa is a dominant edge rusher. And the Chargers, they do run a 3-4. They are switching it up this year with Brandon Staley, so it will be interesting to see how he does. And then our linebackers, Jamin Davis versus Jared Cook. Jamin Davis versus their running backs, Austin Eckler, John Bostic as well, and Cole Holcomb. So our linebackers, they kind of had a rough, they did have a rough preseason, and then they were inconsistent last year too. So we got to stop those guys, Jared Cook, Donald Parham, who used to be a former Washington football player too. Got to stop those guys coming across the middle on slant routes and different things like that. Looking forward to Terry McLaurin versus Michael Davis. I'm looking forward to that matchup. Mike Davis is a good corner, but Terry McLaurin is a better wide receiver. So I'm looking for Terry to win that matchup right there. Antonio Gibson versus Kenneth Murray. Kenneth Murray is a legitimate linebacker for them. He's a tackling machine, but he can get exposed in coverage. Gave up 112.9 passer rating in coverage last year and an 83% completion percentage from quarterbacks targeting him last year in coverage. So I think if we can get Antonio Gibson on those one-on-one matchups against Kenneth Murray, I think he should win 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10 every time. Same thing with Jaden McKissick. We got to get him involved in the passing game. This game for me will be an Antonio Gibson type of game. All season we heard Scott Turner, Antonio Gibson talk about getting him involved in the passing game. I want to see some quick passes to him. I want to see him line up in the slot. I want to see him line up outside too as a wide receiver. I really want to see him get involved in the passing game out of the backfield as well. Same thing with Jaden McKissick, as much as he was last year, having 80 catches last year. I want to see those guys get after in the passing games. Those guys get targeted. Make it easy for Ryan Fitzpatrick. So let's break it down here. Let's look at some of the defensive numbers from the Chargers last year. They have a good team. Derwin James is coming back. Joey Bosa. They got Nasir Adderley at safety. They got some good players. Drew Tranquil at linebacker. Jerry Tillery. They got some good guys on the D-line too. But Jerry Tillery has kind of struggled recently. He struggled a little bit last year, but he was solid for the most part. But he was the third worst ranked edge rusher by Pro Football Focus. So he does have a lot to prove out there. The middle of the defense can be had. Last year, their rush defense was ranked 26th per DVOA, per Football Outsiders. So, and they gave up 4.5 yards per carry, which was 17th in the NFL. And they gave up 119.8 yards per game on the ground, which was ranked 17th in the league last year too. So they can be ran on. They can be had on the ground. That's why I want to just punch them in the mouth, get them in the middle. We can attack the middle of their defense. I think we got to use Logan Thomas in the passing game a lot against their linebackers. I'm expecting a good game from our slot receivers. Adam Humphries has to step up. De'Ami Brown. Let's move Terry McLaurin around in the slot as well. I think we can really attack the middle of their defense, attack the teeth of their defense, and we can control the time of possession and make the game easier on Ryan Fitzpatrick. They also allowed a 91.4 passer rating, which was ranked 14th. Now, these stats from last year, it could carry over a little bit, but we know Brandon Staley is a better defensive coordinator or defensive mind. They had Anthony Lynn last year, and they lost a lot of close games. So we got to finish this game. Now, let's get the keys to victory here. I have starting fast. And some other matchups I like too. So they have their corners is Chris Harris, Asante Samuel Jr., the rookie out of Florida State. He's susceptible to double moves. He can get burnt on double moves. So I would attack him a lot. He's going to be a good corner in this league, but there is that rookie learning curve. And I would go at him, especially with bigger receivers like Cam Sims. If we can get him on a one-on-one matchup, let's just throw it up. Give Cam Sims a chance. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he talked really well about Cam Sims. And with Curtis Samuel being out, De'Ami Brown's got to step up. Cam Sims has to step up. Adam Humphries. All these guys have to step up. So let's see what we can get against Asante Samuel Jr. Michael Davis is a good corner. Chris Harris Jr. will be guarding in the slot. He's getting older. He kind of has regressed over the past 2 years. He gave up over 100 passer rating last year as well. And I think we can take advantage of that matchup against Chris Harris Jr. in the middle as well, in the middle of the field, that slot position. So I'm looking for Cam Sims. I think he's a low-key guy that can have a solid game against the Chargers. Same thing with De'Ami Brown. De'Ami Brown's going to get a lot of snaps. He's going to be starting with Curtis Samuel being out. So my keys to the game is starting fast. Got to start fast. Got to come out the gate. Got to get the crowd into it. Got to get the crowd noise in there. Got to start fast. Last year, we did not score an opening drive until the last game of the year against the Eagles, where they had second and third string guys. Not even a field goal. That's how bad it was starting off the game. So we got to put some points on the board, touchdowns, and not field goals. We got to put 6 on the board. Dustin Hopkins got to make the extra point and finish off these drives. Second is pass rush. Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. Yes, their offensive line, the Chargers' offensive line did get a lot better. They did improve. They couldn't get much worse. They added Corey Linsley from the Packers, one of the best centers in the game of football. So they do have a legitimate offensive line. It's not going to be as easier said than done. But Matt Ioannidis, Daron Payne, John Allen, Tim Settle, with our depth, we just got to keep bringing the heat. I think Ron and Jack, they're going to send some safety blitzes with Cameron Curl and Landon Collins. I can't wait to see how Landon Collins plays in this game, because he looked really good in preseason, really good in training camp. I want to see it translate to the actual games. We know he struggled a little bit last year, but he's learning the defense. He knows it better now. He says he feels even better than what he did before the Achilles injury. So I'm looking right at Landon Collins, looking at Cam Curl, Bobby McCain, all the safeties getting involved as well. Big game for Ben St. Juste, man. Mike Williams is a legitimate wide receiver. Of course, Keenan Allen. They got Jalen Guyton, who is a sneaky good receiver. KJ Hill, a guy that I wanted to draft from Ohio State. So they got a really good receiving core. And once again, Austin Eckler, he's like a receiver out there as well for Justin Herbert. Pass rush, pass rush, pass rush. Like I said, getting that pass rush with that front four. And then also, I want to see Landon Collins blitz a little bit, be in that box area, getting back to the quarterback. The turnover battle, that's an easy one right there. That's another key for me. Ryan Fitzpatrick, Fitzmagic, Fitztragic, can't turn the ball over. He cannot hurt us, especially throwing in the red zone. We have to convert in the red zone. Sometimes Ryan Fitzpatrick, he struggles in the red zone. We saw in the preseason where he struggled in the red zone. Missing Logan Thomas, missing Adam Humphries. Got to convert on those red zone opportunities. Not 3 points, but 6 points, 7 points. We got to convert all those. He just cannot get too happy and turn the ball over. That's why I said we got to establish this run game and take advantage of their run game and take advantage of their run defense. We got to take advantage of this run game and make it easier for Fitzpatrick. I want to see some play action plays. That's what I really want to see. I want to see some play action, get them on their heels, quick screens to negate the pass rush from Joey Bosa, quick out slant routes, getting the ball out of Ryan Fitzpatrick's hands, making it easy for him. Getting Antonio Gibson and J.D. McKissic involved in the run game and in the pass game. My guy Jared Patterson as well. See what he can do. Give him some snaps too, maybe on second down. And then what's going to be key is, we let go of Peyton Barber, which I 100% agree with doing. But if there is a 4th and 1 situation where Riverboat Ron wants to go for it, or 3rd and 1, and we're on our own 35 or 40-yard line, this is where we're going to see, hey, is Antonio Gibson going to be able to make that leap and dive forward and get that first down, or we're going to put in Jared Patterson, or, J.D. McKissic really isn't that guy. So out of those two guys, who's going to convert that 3rd and 1 and that 4th and 1 for the Washington football team when Riverboat Ron wants to go for it? Dustin Hopkins, this is my last key, man. Field goals. Oh, also with the pass rush, getting your hands in the air. Montez Sweat, Daron Payne. They did such a good job of this. Chase Young, too. Getting their hands in the air, deflecting the pass. Guys got to come up with the interception. We got a couple of interceptions last year just off of tip passes and deflections. That was huge for the Washington football team. We did a great job with that. Montez Sweat just getting his arms in the air, that 6'5", 6'6" length of Montez Sweat. Final key for me, I know it's special teams, man, but Dustin Hopkins. We already know what Tress Way is going to do. He's going to give us good field position. Cheeseman has to do a good job of snapping the football. But Dustin Hopkins, he's got to make his kicks, man. We signed that kicker, and you look at the Chargers special teams, they were ranked 32nd per DVOA, so they really struggle with punt returning and kicking. They signed a new kicker this offseason. He really hasn't played that much. So we really have to take advantage of special teams. We cannot have any muff punts. I think DeAndre Carter is going to be returning punts. So he's going to be the guy that's returning punts, and our kick returner is going to be DeAndre Carter. as well. So we got to take advantage of field possession. We got to win that field possession battle too, and the time of possession battle. Just run the ball, man. Smash mouth football, win in the trenches. Offensive line, Brandon Sheriff, we already know what he's going to do. Trace Rouillet. But I want to see Charles Leno and the new tackles on both sides and Eric Flowers as well. Expecting a big game for Ben St. Jude. This is going to be a tough test for him with Keenan Allen and Mike Williams and Jalen Guyton. They got some good wide receivers. So excited to see Jamin Davis, Cole Holcomb, and those guys. Want to see what those guys can do, man, and seeing Derwin James out there too. So it's going to be a fun matchup. This is going to be tough. So let's get to the score prediction, man. FedEx Field, man. Let's get to the score. So I have a feeling this game is going to be kind of low scoring. I don't see this game being in the 30s. I talked with my man Juan Gotti. Make sure you guys sub with my man Juan Gotti, NFL Talking Sports. I was on his stream last night. We talked about the game. We didn't do a score prediction or keys of victory or anything like that. But the over and under is 44.5. And I'm definitely going under. I just think both teams are going to be a little rusty with Justin Herbert and a new staff and a new offensive coordinator and a new offensive line, 4 new offensive linemen out there. I just feel like both teams are going to come out a little slow offensively. I want us to start fast and get this touchdown on the first drive so we can really get the crowd into it and get hyped. But I just think both teams are going to start a little slow and be a little rusty. We just did not look good in preseason. I know it's preseason, it was vanilla offense, but the Chargers, they didn't play in preseason either. I mean, they didn't play their starters up at all, defensively, offensively for the most part. So I do have us winning this game. I got to be in a close game. I was going to go with 16-13 to start off, but I'm going to go 21-17. I'm going to go 21-17. I think Justin Herbert, they get the ball last, right? This is how it's going to finish. So we score a touchdown. What is it? It's 17-14. They're going to be we score a touchdown 21-17. Justin Herbert gets the ball last, and our defense has to make a stop. They're going to get all the way down to our 30-yard line, and then there's going to be an interception by Kendall Fuller to seal the game, and that's how we win. So I got us winning 21-17. You guys let me know your prediction now. The Chargers they're a good team, man. 7-9 last year, which is not great, but they improved. They got better, man. They are a solid team with a head coach and Brandon Staley, who looks like he's going to be a good coach in this league. Going Of course, Justin Herbert was a dog last year, winning Rookie of the Year. So we'll see. And they are playing in, of course, Landover, Maryland. So it's going to be that time change. He hasn't done well. Last year, Justin Herbert didn't do well playing in the East Coast, over there. What is it? It's 4 o'clock over there, but it's really 1 o'clock. So they got to wake up and get ready for the game. So it is going to be changed. That is somewhat of a factor too. But I got us winning this one 21-17 to start off the season off right. And then we play the Giants and Danny fumbles at home on Thursday Night Football. So I can't wait. All right, you guys let me know your score and your predictions, bold predictions. I got Cam Sims low-key having a good game, man. I like the matchup. I got Cam Sims having a good game. I got a feeling Cam Sims is going to be the guy to step up. I know everybody's thinking De'Ami Brown, but I think Cam Sims is going to get better. He was there last year and stepped up for us. Even though sometimes he has iffy hands. Jalen Guyton for the Chargers, too, he has iffy hands, so watch out for that. He might have a couple drops. But I got Cam Sims being that low-key player that you don't think about that's going to have a good game. All right, you guys, hail the football team. Peace.